for certainly nurturing my own. I, I truly, that is a way for you to heal. Because if it's true, and this is going to change, and it might be 4 weeks, um, we want to be prepared for that. We want to be able to be strong for that. You know, there is no switch that's going to be flipped. But for the folks that, you know, either had the virus and survived it and now you're strong, or those of us who may, like myself, I possibly could have, dodged this bullet. I need to be strong because who knows what's going to happen and the people and the different ways that human beings are going to have to change to help others when those doors do open, when we are allowed to go back out. What kind of resource can we be for people at that stage? So it's going to be very easy to be in quarantine and get depressed or feel, like one of the first things that came to my head when I was being laid off was I wasn't valued enough to be kept on. That I was in a place where I thought selfishly in my head, well, isn't there somebody else that you could lay off instead of me that might not be doing as good of a job as me? I mean, that went through my head. I can't help it. It did. And so I freaked out. I sulked a little bit. Like I said, I cried. And then Monday night, I got a really good night's sleep and woke up yesterday morning with a fresh perspective. And that is this: I'm not done yet. I got to get ready. I have a brand quote from someone, and everybody says it, but no matter how you feel, get up, dress, and show up. And that's what I had to do yesterday. It was my first real day of being unemployed. By the way, at my ripe age, I've never filed for unemployment before, so that was a big deal, and I was feeling weird about that. I'm not alone in this, and that was the other thing that connected my brain and my thought process is you are not alone. Even though I'm in this house and I'm blessed to have my boyfriend here and such, but all of our stories are different. And our thresholds are different. So how one might react to something, somebody else might react completely different. And in doing that, and our reactions and how we respond, we're in the judgment-free zone. We are judgment-free right now. There's no way that I could think that that person feels worse than me or better than me or that I should judge them for the way that they feel, because I know there's people out there that might think, well, you're just unemployed. You're lucky to be healthy. Yep, I am. But I am a person that is 100% in, and I love my job, and it's gone right now. That interaction with my team, that feeling of changing people's lives by helping them get a job, that feeling of training those people and seeing their eyes light up when they finally get it. So those were like blood. Those are like who I am. It's my identity. And it's just a little while, it's been taken away, and I had to put that into perspective. But the other thing that I don't know is the unknown, and we haven't hit our bottom yet to figure out where the top is that I don't know if I will live through the day. I don't know if tomorrow is going to be here. And I think that there are some folks out there that take that for granted. And they put out negative things, or they're saying awful things, or they think they're almighty and all in charge of, what's going on, and my opinion counts, and that's unhealthy. Because I will tell you this, if my last day on earth was this past Monday, and I spent it crying, over something that I didn't have control over, that would be a disgrace. So I'm careful of my thoughts. I'm human. I slip into those modes. I cuss situations out. Don't misunderstand me. But if I go too far, I say this sentence: please don't let this be my last thoughts on earth. Recently, there was it's like an acquaintance, a school kind of parent kind of friend. This guy suddenly passed away from a heart attack. And, the people that I most respect, with the company that I currently work for, he woke up one day and went to work, and he passed away from a heart attack instantly. We don't know. It could be a bus that levels us. I don't know why I always think when people say you get hit by a bus, there's just something comedic about that for me. But I know that people get hit by a bus, okay? I do. But I don't know why that just makes me kind of... But you could get hit by a bus. Or you could, a heart attack could strike. It's like all other diseases and cancers and alcoholisms and drug addictions and all of these things that can attack us and make us sick are on pause. They're secondary right now, and they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. This is just a thing. We just have to, I don't know. We have to change our thought process. It isn't going away. Somebody passes away from this now, a child, an 80-year-old person, they're sick, they're alone. They're alone. So I just believe that it's up to us as healthy, sort of healthy, whomever you are, to try and do our best. My heart, I was 3-4 years ago, I lived here alone. And right now, believe me, that way, I've thought of that. You would be in this house alone, and you couldn't visit, you couldn't anything. And I think about my girlfriends, my single girlfriends, who can't see their kids, their grandchildren, their friends. I think about young people who, if they're doing the right thing, they're in their home alone. And so I feel for them. I do. But I feel like we have to keep our brains active, and we have to stay in touch, however many different means there are out there to do just that. We should be doing that. And so today's show, before I go into that, it's about making the call and reaching out. And I got a little story for you, and I have it in my notes that I want to share it with you, but I really wasn't going to, because it's unbelievable. I was saying to Tim, my boyfriend, I was looking out the kitchen window, and I said, I wasn't talking to Tim. He was in the room. And I said, Dear God, it's one thing that we're all, quarantined and in our homes and secluded. And it's been really cloudy and rainy here. And I said, it would be different if we could get that dose of sun. Some, please, if through this, so that we can go outside, we can get fresh air, people can garden. If you could just let the sun shine, that would be so great. And I said a prayer about it. I mean, I had my elbows on the sink, looking out the window, asking for sunshine. And Tim had heard it, and I turned around and we were talking about it. I said, you know what I mean? Like, people could be pulling weeds or, doing gardening, and they could be out getting some sunshine and vitamin D and soaking it up and get some sun-kissed cheeks. And, we just talked about it for a little bit. And you guys, I am not kidding you. Absolutely, the sun just came blasting through the windows. And I took a picture of my little weather thing. And we're supposed to have clouds all day. The sun isn't supposed to shine until later today. But that happened. And Tim and I, we just started laughing. Like, we believe, we're believers. And we were just like, it was really cool. And I just looked outside and it's still shining. So this is the northeastern Ohio area. And I'm not kidding you. That sun came blaring through the window. So we can't stop praying. We can't stop talking to something, the power that be that are greater than us. And whether you are a believer in God or whatever your belief system is, I urge you to believe in something greater than you that can help you, that you can talk to, that you might, make a difference with. That it's not all you, you're not in control, you're feeling the weight on your shoulders, you're worried about bills, you're worried about your car, you're worried about work, you miss everybody, you miss your family, you miss your coworkers. Reach out and just say to the universe, say to God, and tell and use your words, your mouth, your voice to say out loud how you're feeling. And don't make it like you're talking to yourself. Make it like you're talking to someone else. And that you're asking and that you're praying. And that, again, if it's just, hey, universe, listen, please hear me out. Or you actually are, giving your devotion and conversations to God. I urge you to do that. It takes away, this is a few years ago. It's what got me through. I was scared. I was broke. I was sad. I'd ruined relationships. I just couldn't scrape myself up off the floor. I felt I wasn't worthy. What good am I? Really feeling sorry for myself. Really scared to death. Really putting myself down. And I just started saying these things out loud. I just started confessing these things out loud in my living room, using my voice. And I didn't make this up. I read several books that tell you to do that. So it's not like I came up with this great idea to voice out what your concerns, your worries, or good things are. And just like the sunshine, it's however corny it is, the sun is always there. It's just covered up by clouds. And that's what we got to do right now. We got to peel away some of this stuff. We've got to peel the layers off so that we can simply be and become. Because you don't know how the universe or God wants to use you. You don't know that. We don't know everything. The next thing you know, you find yourself in a situation and you're doing something kind or really helping someone out. The best way to get out of your sadness, depression, and whatever you might be in is think of how you could help possibly one person. You can email me. I've got an email, bevdshow@gmail.com. You can email me your thoughts. You can tell me I'm crazy. You can leave comments. You can private message me. But if I'm a connection, connect with me. And that kind of leads me into what today's show is about. As I had told you, I talked about making the call. And, that call, professionally in sales, it's just different now. It's going to be a different type of call. And so what I have done is I've written a little something for you, and I want to share it with you